Hello and welcome to another Raggy's beer review over in Raggy's Tap Room. So tonight we're drinking from 40's Brewery. I think it's Manchester based, to be fair. And it's their Busmans Classic Blonde Ale. It's 4.1%. Was gifted to Raggy's Beer Reviews by Paul Greenwood, so big thank you for that. And it says on the back, and I can read it on this beer review, Busman's Blonde is an English blonde ale brewed for the more traditional beer drinkers. A single hopped with pioneer hops. This classic ale has a smooth mouthfeel with a sweet maltiness and a light hoppy bitterness. 4.1%. Have you tried Busman's Holiday? No, I haven't. So let's begin. So as we can see, it's actually a lively pour. Blonde ale, you can tell it's a blonde ale. Some would call that straw. Did you get that little bit of that funny intro that I did? I'm going to do more then, and we're going to have a laugh. You know, it's all about a laugh, isn't it? And yeah, I'm going to be what's the word? Cloning or replicating other beer reviewers on certain beer reviews. So you'll see it coming up in the future. Those who watch a lot of beer reviews will already know what's coming up. Those who don't watch all the beer reviews won't. They'll be thinking, what the hell's this? You'll see. I can't replicate every beer review because I haven't got the hat and I haven't got long hair and I don't look like Jack Grealish. Oh, shall I say? Yeah, a version. And so on and so forth across the beer world. You know, it is. There's a lot of blokes. We're all very different, and it's a good thing we're all different, isn't it? So yeah, we're still getting some head on this, and it's in date till July of this year, so there's no issues with date. Probably just the beer room temperature fluctuations across the beer room at any one time. Oh, I do hope people are okay out there in the world. You know, we are starting, although it looks like we're going to have a bit of a glitch coming into spring. The beer reviews are all mixed up at the moment from when I brewed them. There's no uniformity of when a beer review is getting posted. I am knowledgeable of that, and in some ways, it's a good thing because you just get a beer review for that day and it tells you something what was on the news that day. And you know, like with all beer, we have a beer, we talk about the day's news and we move on, you know. And so my beer reviews will be all out of sync, but for the most part they'll still be good, they'll still be watchable. And you know, if you like the sound of the beer, you'll watch it, and if you don't like the sound of the beer, you won't. And that tends to be the case anyway. I've done some amazing beer reviews, but what I think are amazing, and like literally about 40 people have watched, and I'm like, that was a really, really good beer review. And I went off on such a tangent that the tangent really made it something different. And then you'll do a beer review of something crap, you know, that I can't be done with, and it gets 300 views, and it's like, but why? That's the beer world, isn't it? For those of us with not so many views, you know, viewers rather, not the viral beer reviewers, although there aren't that many viral beer reviewers in the grand scheme of things. And I won't go down that road any further because I'll say something and drop myself in the crap. So an easy drinking beer. Yeah, definitely more of an ale rather than anything like crafty. Sometimes with craft beers these days, and breweries bring out beers, you expect them to be, shall we say, craft beers, and they're not. They're just, modern traditional beers, but in a can. And also, you get breweries that are supposedly newly formed craft breweries bringing out stuff in a can, and you know damn well it's mod trad, and this happens a lot. A lot of breweries haven't really got that in their head, that difference. Without naming any breweries, because I'm not going down that road. I have to live in Nottingham, so I have to be careful what I say sometimes, even though I want to. There are some award-winning breweries, and that's as much as I'll say. But at the end of the day, it's the beer that comes out. It's the releases that come out, and if the releases are good releases that do say craft or I'm good with breweries doing a range of styles. I mean, who am I? Just a bloody beer drinker. At the end of the day, and every single beer reviewer, including the craft beer channel, and all the others, you're only really beer drinkers. You may have a big following, you may be lucky to get a big following, but at the end of the day, you're like all the rest of us, and you're a beer drinker with an opinion, and who's gone on YouTube to voice his opinion in a different way. Hate noises. I'm down the beer room on my own. I'm at the bottom of the garden. There shouldn't be any noises outside. And when you hear a noise, it's like, what the hell? There's no wind. There's no reason for any noises. And that's where sometimes it's a bit, oh. So yeah, a big thank you to Paul for this. 40s Brewery, based out of, I think it's Manchester. Warrington. Yeah, so Warrington. And it says here, Busmans Blonde is an English blonde ale brewed for the more traditional beer drinkers. So fair play, they're actually saying what it is. Single hopped with pioneer hops. Classic ale is a smooth mouthfeel with a sweet maltiness and a light hoppy bitterness. So fair play on that. They're not trying to be anything they're not. Obviously, it's in the can. Perceptions of beers these days in cans are that they are going to be more crafty. However, John Smith's has always been in the can. Caffrey's, Boddington's, Tetley's, and so on. There's a list of beers that have been in cans longer than anything from the craft beer community. Old Speckled Hen, but Old Speckled Hen's probably the best out of that lot that I've just mentioned. Easygoing traditional ale, and there's certainly always a place for a trad ale in this world. We need to remember that not everybody wants to drink imperial stouts. Not everybody wants to drink sour beers and goses and all these different styles. People do want best bitters. People do want mild. People want black and tan. Black and tan. I actually got to drink a black and tan from Lincoln Green Brewing 2 weeks ago now. And it was a porter blended with a best bitter. I tell you what, it was stunning. It was a stunning beer. I like Lincoln Green for that because they're not afraid of doing something that's a little bit different, and Yeah. I do think that some of these like snake bite and stuff like that, that they could do that. Collaborating with a local cider company and going down that road, and you know, a snake bite in a bottle, talk hard cider and Lincoln Green going together. I will be chatting about that particular uh, evolution next time I chat to Lincoln Green, whenever that may be. I've got to start putting the hours together, loo time for such days. There's a possible two collaborations coming up for Raggie's Beer Reviews, so that'll be amazing. Possibly even three if it happens, but certainly two. Um, so I'm enjoying this. You know, it's nice to get onto a blonde ale and nice to do different breweries. It's what, for me, it's what beer is about. Beer is about trying an endless um, amount of different breweries' beers. Try saying that 3 times, and seeing where it goes. And you know, there are so many beers that are coming out these days. Every single brewery is brewing beers, and there's no 50 beer reviewers or 100 beer reviewers in this country who can keep up with every single beer that's coming out. Not a bloody chance. When there's 2,000 breweries, or there was at least, then you can see. And when breweries are bringing out beers, I mean, flipping it, Neon Raptor near me are bringing out 3 new beers a week. I don't know how to do it. Lenton Lane, at least 1 or 2 a week new. They are the most active of the breweries around Nottingham. And but that's just Nottingham, you know, flipping heck. There's breweries all over the place bringing out new beers all the time, or variations of a new beer. Look at Verdant with their new triple putty now. Yeah, you knew they were going to do that at some stage. They'll bring out a putty bloody stout, some imperial stout at some stage. You know, it's all about working the name in it. So blonde ale, good old traditional ale, um, malty, a little bit of sweetness, malty beer, easy drinking. 4.1 out of 5. Yeah, it's just nice, easy drinking beer. And cheers, Paul. I finally got around to reviewing it. Cheers, matey.